Good afternoon, I'm Meteorologist Bailey Braun, and this weekend we have this active winter storm on the way. This is bringing widespread impacts all across from western Alaska, and eventually it will reach into parts of south central, but in the meantime, the North Slope and the interior are up next for where these impacts are likely to hit. So we'll jump into these graphics and I'll tell you everything that you can expect for the weekend, but first I wanted to show you your sunrise and sunset times for this week, and especially for today. We're gaining a little over 5 minutes and 30 seconds every single day. So in Anchorage, we're already up to 9 hours and 46 minutes of daylight, which might not seem like a lot for people in the lower 48, but since we've been dealing with mostly, limited sunlight, we're finally back to seeing more of these long days and extended daylight. But that's all across the state, not just for Anchorage. We're seeing much longer days pretty much everywhere. Now, one thing that I wanted to start with was talking about these maximum wind speeds in south central more specifically. We're feeling these strong winds across the state, but especially in south central today. Gusts reached up to 67 miles per hour into Palmer today, and at the airport they even recorded 78 mile per hour winds as well. So pretty significant winds, very strong as well, and very dangerous. So it's important to keep these in mind. They are likely into tomorrow, but they are going to begin to fizzle out just a little bit more. They're not going to be as extreme of an impact as they were today and yesterday, but as a result of high winds, wind chill is obviously much colder, making it feel much colder as well. So in Kotzebue, negative 18 degrees is what it feels like, even though temperatures aren't quite that cold. But we are seeing similar wind chill into other areas of western Alaska, even up into the North Slope, where these temperatures are not nearly as cold as what the wind chill is saying it is. Now, I also wanted to talk about, of course, our first alert weather headlines. I know everyone's sick of first alert days, but it's important to be aware of these storms and what impacts are heading to you so that you can be better prepared for them. Now, as we look at these headlines, Norton Sound, anywhere to the north especially, this is where you will be feeling these heavy snowy impacts and as well as these high winds. So that's going to be for today into tomorrow. The Seward Peninsula is another area where we're expecting very heavy snow, but freezing rain is also very possible to you in this area. For the interior, you will be faced with a first alert weather day for Sunday mostly and into Monday as well. That's where these snowy impacts are likely to reach from 8 inches to up to 16 inches in the higher elevation areas. So expect over a foot of snow if you're in Fairbanks and other surrounding central portions of the interior. It's pretty significant snowfall. But looking at our weather alerts, you can already see across the state this winter storm warning, which just shows how widespread these impacts of this storm is, all the way from southwest Alaska up into the northeastern corner of the Beaufort Sea. This is where we're feeling these impacts. Now, I wanted to focus in a little bit more on western Alaska. You can already see on the radar some little spots of purple popping up. That's where lots of heavy snow is being reported right now, at least. So Seward Peninsula as well as the Norton Sound area, this is where that heavy snow is moving into right now. It will begin to shift up into the North Slope later on tonight and into tomorrow. And for Fairbanks in the interior, your turn is up next into the overnight hours as well. Heaviest snow amounts are likely by Sunday afternoon for Fairbanks, so that's when you're really going to get the bulk of this snowfall. I'll show you some of those snowfall climate data, or some of that data in a minute, showing your snowfall totals, but I just wanted to show you what we're looking ahead to and that satellite track for the storm. You can already see it's going to whip in a little bit more impacts into areas along the Bering Strait. That's where we're seeing lots more snow expected, but heaviest snowfall for western Alaska, that's going to be from Kotzebue up to Point Lay. That's where over a foot of snow is anticipated, up to about nearly a foot and a half of snow is expected just by Monday. So that's kind of when the storm is really going to fizzle out, but you can see by Monday afternoon, we have a second front that's going to bring in more wintry impacts down into southwest Alaska, still lingering into the interior from this weekend storm. But southwest Alaska, you will be dealing with more of the snow on the way by Monday afternoon. And it even stretches into a little bit of Anchorage and a little bit of south central, mostly as you travel up north from the Kenai Peninsula a little bit. But it even extends all the way out into southeast Alaska, where more of that heavy snow is expected by Tuesday afternoon. So we still have a few more days to get ahead of this storm. But it's important to keep in mind the change in the forecast. About this wind forecast is something that we've been trying to deal with as well. well, especially in southeast Alaska. You know it's been windy, and it's going to continue to stay windy through tonight and into tomorrow. Now, the windiest area for western Alaska as a result of this storm continues to be the northwestern portion of the Arctic coastline, so it's important to keep this in mind. Gusts could reach up to 50 and even 60 miles per hour, but wind gusts down into Juneau, you can see a little bit of that purple highlighted right there. That's gusts up to 70 miles per hour, so it's very strong, and it's important to keep this in mind as these gusts begin to pick up, especially in western Alaska where you're mixed with a lot of the snow as well. It's going to result in blizzard-like conditions and reduced visibility, so keep this on your radar. Try not to travel around too much if you can help it. That's when it's most dangerous in storms like this. Now, with our snowfall map, you can already see Kotzebue, one of the areas leading with our snowfall count, but it will begin to climb even more. You can see it highlighted in purple as well as that dark blue. That's going to be for Kotzebue, extending down into Fairbanks. That's another area where you can expect up to a foot of snow likely. Again, that's by Monday afternoon. That's really when these snowfall totals are going to kick off. Now, here's that snow model trend that I promised you that I said that I would show you. This is for Nome, so you're already reaching up to about 10 inches or so of snow. That's a fair consensus with all of our model data, and that's going to be from Monday afternoon. You kind of taper off just a little bit by Sunday night into Monday, but then you'll get a little bit of a spike in that snowfall returning. So be ready for that and just keep that on your mind. But for the interior more specifically, here's just a little bit of a better look of that timeline. I said that Sunday night is when you can expect to see more of that heavy snow rolling in, and that's exactly what we're looking at right now. Sunday night into Monday morning, that's when it really picks up, but of course by Monday afternoon, that's when you're really going to get through most of the storm, but the storm will linger for you into the interior as late as Tuesday night into Wednesday, but strongest impacts will be tomorrow afternoon into Monday. You can already see about a foot of snow expected from Nenana all the way to Chena Hot Springs, but areas just a little further south are going to get a little bit less snow, but that's where some of that wind is going to pick up. So while that area won't see as much snow, that's when more of that wind will pick up as well. So here's that snow model trend for Fairbanks. You can already see the model data is not quite on the same page. One model is showing about 5 inches of snow, another is showing about 16 inches of snow. That goes to show it is a little bit difficult to forecast for the snowfall, but just keep that range in mind. Could be as little as 5 inches, could be as much as 16 inches, but either way, I'm going to forecast that you're going to get up to a foot of snow by the time that Monday night rolls around. So brace for that heavy snow. You already had similar days like this last week, 2 days of about 10 inches of snowfall, and that's returning to you by the end of this weekend and into your work week. So keep that on your radar. For southeast Alaska, mostly sunny skies are underway, but these wind gusts are picking up quite a bit. There's a high wind warning for Juneau, and even into Skagway we have a high wind watch. This is for wind gusts up to 60 and even 70 miles per hour, so that it becomes pretty significant, but at least you get these sunny skies. You won't have to deal with any blowing rain or blowing snow. As you look into the interior, this is where some of that heavy snowfall is likely, and that's what you can expect. We do have this winter storm warning in effect stretching into Fairbanks. We also have a winter weather advisory underway for areas like Delta Junction, even reaching into Tok just a little bit. That's where more widespread impacts may linger and where they may reach into, but that's not where the heaviest impacts will be felt compared to where Fairbanks and even for Yukon is expecting that heavy snowfall. For the North Slope, you may notice that as a result of this storm, temperatures are really spiking. Last week, these temperatures were down into single digits, and now they're back up into the 20s, getting close to that freezing point, but that heavy snow is expected. Areas to the west of Utqiagvik are likely to get up to 8 and even 10 inches of snow. Areas to the east of Utqiagvik are likely to get about 6 to 8 inches of snow. So you're going to get a decent amount of snowfall by tonight into Monday. That's kind of that timeline and that range. But again, those wind gusts will peak up to 40 miles per hour, even 35 miles per hour. So that adds to that blizzard and that reduced visibility. For western Alaska. The bulk of these impacts are really being felt tonight and into tomorrow morning, so the worst is kind of already over. It's making its way out, but you're still going to feel some of the lingering impacts, such as residual snowfall, as well as some of this freezing rain that will begin to shift into Nome. You notice those high temperatures into Nome are reaching up to 37 degrees. That's above that freezing point, so that's where we're expecting a lot of that freezing rain to mix in, but of course that adds on that icy layer on top of that fresh snowfall, and that makes roads very, very difficult to commute from, so keep this in mind. Gusts are likely to reach up to 40 miles per hour into Kotzebue and 30 miles per hour into Gamble as well, but Gamble is actually seeing significantly less precipitation than other areas along western Alaska. But even as we look into southwest Alaska, from Bethel down even into the Aleutians, you're seeing mostly cloudy skies, staying relatively dry, but then you are mixing in some of these stronger wind gusts as well. This is mostly for Cold Bay, but otherwise these temperatures are relatively normal. You're staying dry along the Aleutians, except when you get a little bit further out west, like Adak, Atka, and Shemya as well. That's where some of those lighter rounds of precipitation are likely, but gusts aren't too bad. Sustained winds around 25 miles per hour in Adak. Now for South Central, we're looking at mostly dry and cold conditions. Some of that lingering wind is still likely into tomorrow, but it's not going to be as significant of an impact as it was from today and yesterday. Strong winds are likely into Seward with gusts up to 25 miles per hour, and strong winds are also likely into the Copper River Basin with gusts up to 30 and even 35 miles per hour. But again, staying dry and mostly sunny for the most part. Seeing some partly cloudy skies as well. Temperatures sitting just below freezing, and even into Matsu and Anchorage, we're actually seeing temperatures sitting 10 to 15 degrees below normal. So it is chilly, and it adds to that wind chill, feeling a little bit more like negative 15 to negative 20 degrees. So that's important to keep in mind, especially as some of these stronger wind gusts may pull through the region. But in Anchorage, that's your high temperature for tomorrow, 14 degrees, which is about 15 degrees colder than what we typically see this time of year. Now for Anchorage, looking ahead in our 7-day, mostly sunny skies are ahead for Sunday. Monday, you may see a few more clouds begin to roll in, and then Tuesday, we do have a chance of snow, about 2 to 4 inches. It's really not going to be a lot of snow, but you know, it's a slight change in the forecast. These temperatures are going to rise just a little bit more as Monday and Tuesday approach, and then taper off again by the time Wednesday pulls through, heading into the rest of the weekend. For Fairbanks, you're looking ahead to lots of snow on the way. Heaviest amounts are likely from Sunday afternoon into Monday, so brace for more of that heavy snow. Again, that's where you're likely to see about a foot of snow moving through. But again, that range is about 8 inches to 16 inches, but that's that range through the interior, so just keep that in mind. Temperatures are going to rise up just a little bit more for Monday and drop right back down as Tuesday and Wednesday approach. You'll be back down into high temperatures in the negatives. But for Juneau, mostly sunny skies are ahead tomorrow and Monday. You may see that chance of snow return, and I did show you that in our satellite. As we look ahead, that's when that snow is going to move through as a result of this storm. So it will begin to shift in just a little bit south, and that's what you can prepare for. But these warmer temperatures will return and kind of dig you out of that cold spell that you've been in for the last few days. So you can keep that in mind and keep that on your radar. All right, now I've finally gotten through all of the crazy weather that there is to talk about for the rest of this state. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. It's a lot of information and a lot of places to cover, so hopefully everybody stays safe. And if you enjoy the snow, enjoy these snowy days, but please use caution and just try to be safe whenever you're dealing with any strong storm like this, especially as this heavy snow is mixed with these heavy winds as well. So regardless, just be safe. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you back tomorrow.